office appeared as a magnified cross-section on helicopters' thermal tracking devices, its walls and roof transparent through X-ray, a single red heat trace throbbing like a character in a video game. Orpheus ignored them, keeping focus on the prize. It was in this building. The search was almost over. Orpheus walked up to the card cataloguing cabinet that ran along the side wall and followed the alphabetized system. AA, AB, AC, until finding the reference and pulling out the index card drawer, which overextended like a long wooden tongue. The secure line buzzed on Maya's phone, sending it skittering across the dashboard. He swiped it up immediately and answered the call. It was Spokes. The operation was a go. Myers took a swig from his bottle of water. His mouth was desert dry and he couldn't risk signalling fear to the others. He then dialed the secure broadcast line to the assembled teams. All units proceed. Orpheus is to be taken alive if possible. The antique typewriter font on the index card guided Orpheus to the towering stacks of paper files in the recessed rear of the room. Stack C, row 4. Motion sensor lights plinged on above. Shelf 3. There. A stack of papers lay in a hammock created by the hanging file, damp from decades of sitting in the dark, kept company by a handful of wood lice that scrambled across the wedge as it was lifted out. The certificate was in the middle of the sheaf, recognizable from the stamp of the hospital. Orpheus hesitated, hands suspended, savouring the moment, then peeled back one side and read the block of double-spaced typewriting and the handwritten ink signature beneath. A deep breath, and then a sigh of dismay. It was not the end of the journey. But finally, there was a name. A chill suddenly ran down Orpheus's spine, and palms pressed to the table. They were moving outside, assembling, preparing their assault. Car doors swinging open, boots stepping out, snipers' fingers hooking around triggers. Orpheus wasn't concerned. The escape route would be revealed. Deep breath. Discern their strategy. First, containment. Exits were being sealed off with foot soldier and sniper teams. Aerial support formed a second line of cover. Next, they would storm the building, aiming to corner and then capture. But where would they enter first? And then a spider sense fired deep in Orpheus's head, the high alert of imminent death. Their whole strategy had been a ploy to distract, to draw attention away from the true attack. An elaborate trap. Capture was never their intention. Orpheus looked up at the high-vaulted ceiling. In the split second before it exploded, Orpheus noticed for the first time the mural that had been staring benignly down. A loving artist's tribute to the most famous fresco in history. Adam anchored to the earth, reaching for his divine creator. Two worlds separated from each other, fingertip close and yet forever apart. And then everything was consumed in the detonation and flash fire. Having fired its payload of 4 Hellfire missiles, the Predator drone banked, tracing a wide parabola back towards its secret base in Scotland. At an altitude of 10 miles, the detonation flashed white across its black and white video monitors, taking out the entire building with what would later be described to the press as a controlled explosion conducted during a terror operation by police. When the fire subsided, Myers approached the smoking ruin of the building. A crater had been carved out, an angry black hole in the ground. The contents of the registry office melted and compacted into it. Orpheus was gone. Part 1. 1993. 1. I hope you've got a stronger stomach. The police sergeant's voice was brittle as he stood in the teeming rain at the entrance of the house. His hulking form almost blocked out the doorframe. The fact that he had come personally was an indication to Claire that the crime was a serious one. As the only social services officer working on the local police force, she attended each incident, and this was only the second time she had ever seen him. Claire stared at the house for a moment, trying to dampen the fear in her gut. This happened each time. Each drab facade hid chambers of cruelty and neglect. She never knew what horrors lay in wait for her. The rain lashed at her, falling in liquid columns from the eaves of the house.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.